Hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining us for another Kodak Info Input Solution short. Today I want to focus on a very new, exciting feature with version 6, which is our image registration and form shift tolerance functionality. This is part of the new classification and extraction engine and allows us to handle form shift where perhaps we get a poor quality scan, perhaps there was some skew, there was some variation in the way that that particular example was scanned. But we've trained the system to recognize our templates. It can recognize when we get a slightly bad scan and adjust for that automatically behind the scenes, giving us the best possible chance of a first time accurate OCR extraction of our key data during the extraction phase. I've got a couple of batches that are ready to go, so I can select my next indexing task. I've got 2 batches of the same job class. However, with one of these particular batches, I have disabled these new features. So let's have a look at that one first. If we look through the images that are within this batch, we can see that we have some form shift. So in this example, we have some level of skew. I can continue to work through these documents and we can see each of these are varying slightly. Now, our last document is very accurate to the original template. So I'm expecting, even with the new features disabled, we should get an accurate extraction with this particular document. So if I go to my indexing now, I can scroll through all of my documents. We can see in this case, being the first document, we've got an accurate extraction for the first 2 fields. For the insured field, I've got a lot of extra information. I know that I'm specifically looking for a 5-digit code, and in this case we certainly have more than that. And we can see at the bottom right of the screen that skew in this particular scan is resulting in extra data being brought through. With document 2, we can see that the date of loss is missing, and if we click on that particular indexing field in our zone zoom, we can see clearly that the zone has shifted as a result of this particular scan having a skew. If we scroll through each of these documents, we can see that we've got data that's missing and potentially information that's incorrect as a result of the way that these documents happen to have been scanned. If we look at the final document, we can see that we do have all of the correct data, and that is because, once again, this particular document I brought through deliberately with no issues, no scanning problems whatsoever. So as expected, we've got an accurate extraction. So let's have a look at how the new version of Info Input will handle this exact same batch. So I'm going to suspend this batch using the batch menu, and now I can select my next indexing task. And in this case, I'm going to select the other batch that we've got ready to go. So we have the exact same documents as we saw previously. So now let's go to our indexing. Starting with the first document, we can see that we have all of the information extracted and it is accurate. One thing that you may be able to notice is that our zones have automatically stretched and adjusted so that all the data that's relevant can be extracted. So in the case where we have a certain amount of form shift, our zones can relocate based on where they know they should be, and also potentially stretch to allow all the information that's required to be extracted. I will scroll through all of the documents now, and we can see for each of these we do have all of the key data that we're looking for, despite the fact that we have all of this variation depending on how the documents have been scanned through. So with this new functionality within Info Input Solution version 6, we've got the ability to handle these variations in the way documents are being scanned. And this is going to maximize the chances of getting the first time extraction correct. This is going to reduce the amount of manual data entry from the end user perspective, or potentially the amount of data that they have to correct, and is going to provide an overall better user experience. Less data entry, more efficiency. Let's streamline the process and make it as easy as possible for our users. Thanks for watching.
Kodak Alaris. Makes sense.